Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Ripe for Reissue. And I get to have a real rant about this one. It's Bernstein Conducts Haydn on Sony. How many even knew this box existed? It contains all of his Haydn recordings for that label. And they include the 6 Paris symphonies, which are the reference recordings for those works. The 12 London symphonies, which are mostly marvelous. Number 98's a little loose, but the rest of them are pretty great. And we've got 4 masses: the Mass in the Time of War, the Nelson Mass, the Harmonia Messa, and the Theresian Messa, which is really cool. And finally, let's see, the Symphony Number 88, which is one of his earliest Haydn recordings. He redid it, of course, for Deutsche Grammophon. And the Creation, which he also redid for Deutsche Grammophon, but this one's better. It's more exciting. Anyway, look, Bernstein was one of the great Haydn conductors who ever existed, maybe the greatest. I mean, he felt Haydn the way he felt Mahler. I think some of his Haydn didn't get so much attention because, first of all, he was an American, Jewish guy doing Haydn. And Haydn never got much attention anyway. And especially when he started doing the masses and the choral works, in Europe, they were saying, well, it's Bernstein, it's this, it's that. He had this reputation as this sort of, jump up and down, emoting showman, and the idea that he would be doing these works sort of disconcerted some people. The irony, of course, is that Haydn, of all of the classical composers, is probably the most jump up and down, showy of all of them. Even Beethoven, really, I mean that. Beethoven was revolutionary in certain ways, but Haydn was funny, and Bernstein got the humor, and he got the color, and he got the rhythm. Oh, my goodness, his Haydn is just amazing. Absolutely first rate. And so, it was really very smart of Sony at one point, for about 5 minutes, to release this. It really was. The real question in my mind is, Bernstein has this enormous organization that's still out there called Amberson Productions. Amberson, it comes from Bernstein's name. Bernstein in German is amber. So Amberson, get it? Right? Okay. So Amberson handles Bernstein's legacy. Their job is to promote the living daylights out of everything Bernstein as many ways as they can. And they have been behind reissues of endless quantities of box sets of Bernstein's own music and the greatest Bernstein, and this is Leonard Bernstein, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, all of these things that usually consist of bits and pieces of things cobbled together according to some theoretical program. But it seems to me that what they haven't done, and what Sony has partially done, Sony, whatever they're called, Sony released his Sibelius cycle, they released his Mahler cycle, they released his Haydn, they did some things like that. But why doesn't Amberson, or the organization, do its best to get behind a systematic, sort of permanent, we don't need a gigantic, ginormous Bernstein box because we've got the other 3 little enormous boxes or so of those. But it would be good to have the repertoire in which he really specialized systematically and permanently remastered and issued. So yes, there would be Mahler, yes, there would be Sibelius, but his Tchaikovsky cycle, that was also a little box, a little budgie box. These things need to be organized and cleaned up, I think, so that we desperately need his Haydn. You could do his Mozart. I don't think it's as good as his Haydn, but it's not terrible. His Schumann is first rate. His Shostakovich, except the 7th and the 14th, but some of that was first rate. They did do a Stravinsky box, for example, but these things come and go, and they're not systematically organized. What I mean is, you don't see any kind of progression or series or regularity of release or attempted promotion. God forbid. I say that over and over again, of course, because there's never an attempted promotion. But the Bernstein legacy right now is kind of a mess, discographically speaking, and it would not be a bad thing really for each label, frankly, these major labels to go through and they have their biggest artists, just the biggest ones, find what they did best and make that stuff available and then sell it. God forbid, I mean, sell it. The novel concept, selling things, which is what they exist to do. So yeah, I mean, this was wonderful when it came out. Somebody was thinking. Somebody understood the relationship between Bernstein and this composer. They knew that it was meaningful. They put it together in a sensible box. They threw everything in it. Then they deleted it. Yeah, right. So that's just my suggestion. But we really could use that. Then we could all get behind it and listen to it together and have a really sensible discussion about its strengths and weaknesses and other things and comparisons and all the things we used to do and had such a good time doing back in the day when there was some kind of stability in the catalog, at least temporarily. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me and take care.